This is my third video in my series about how to make a air dryer for the air compressor. And the technique that I'm going to show you in this video is laying out your pipe. Uh, your plumbing system, whatever you're building, can get super complicated, and if you're missing one piece, it means another trip back to the plumbing store. So it is not particularly uncommon to see someone in the plumbing aisle doing exactly what I've just done here, which is to lay everything out, not necessarily in exactly the form it's going to be, but enough to make a diagram so you can make sure that you have all of the things you need. So for this specific project, I'm going to explain this two-dimensional diagram of what ultimately is going to be a three-dimensional object. So what I've done here, the first piece is this is how the air comes out of the compressor. So mentally I'm imagining a compressor here. Then I'm physically isolating the compressor, which makes a lot of vibration, from the rest of the stuff, both because I don't want this to get shaken apart all the time. I don't want this to rattle against the ceiling. You want to create, I'm going to create a soft material here, the plastic PEX pipe, to prevent the rattling. So now I need to get from PEX into the 1-inch copper. So the way I've found to do that, and usually there's 6 different ways to find different fittings that'll do this, but here's PEX to this screw fitting. This is screw fitting in the brass to PEX, and then the female screw fitting into the sweat fitting, and that's where I can solder the pipe in. So now I come over here. This is where you really have to use your imagination a bit, because this is not the actual device, this is just a diagram of it. So what I'm saying to myself mentally here is, it's coming up, and up in this area there's going to be a lot of piping. It's not going to look exactly like this, but my point is to myself that I'm running the air through these loops here, and then it comes back down. So I've run the air through here, it's cooled down substantially, it comes down, and now there's oil and water that needs to come out. So I've created a drain opportunity for it. So 1-inch pipe also has this 1/2 inch, and this is going to be pointing down physically in the garage. Once it's installed, it'll go into this 1/2 inch pipe. I'll come back to the drain system when we get to the next leg of it. So the air then travels on, and we're going to do a second loop, multiple loops through here. Again, just a diagram. Air comes back, and this is my second drain opportunity. So what I've done here is, I see these people with all these ball valves, and that's a major expense and probably unnecessary, and also a lot of work to go open those stupid things all the time. So what I'm planning to do is, I'll have one drain here, 1/2 inch copper pipe. It comes over, connects to the first drain it hit, and then this will go to a device called an automatic drain that'll automatically release the water out, so I don't have to run around opening ball valves all the time. Now it does create a second path. Conceivably air could come and push through here, but it's got a 1-inch pipe here, which is, I think, 4 times larger than the carrying capacity of 1/2 inch pipe. So I don't think I'm too likely to see that as a practical issue. So that's the drain. Then I have to get the compressed air out. So I go from the 1-inch copper pipe into another sweat fitting, the screw connection here, down to my 3/4 inch PEX, and out to 3/4 inch PEX. And for now, my outlet is going to be this standard fitting that you can put all the standard air fittings in. I am going to modify this later because I want to have a super high capacity hose that goes to my sandblasting cabinet. You want a lot of capacity, and that's the reason I went with the 1 inch, because it carries so much air. So I'm gonna put something in here later to carry more capacity, but for now this will close off the system and let me start using it. So this is a useful technique to minimize the number of trips back to the hardware store for that one plumbing fitting you forgot. I think it's good to have no shame and just lay this out on the floor of the plumbing aisle if that's what it takes to keep track of your project. Well, that's enough for that, and I'll see you at number 4.